Hello, welcome you all to another episode of Shriji's Musing. I have come to Bangalore to undergo a professional training. It's basically on coding in a way, and to share it with you, I felt really nostalgic and happy today. In my class 12, I learned C++, and during that time, I still remember the book. There's a very good book on C++ by Sumita Arora. So that used to be our book for learning back then, and we went to good depth, I should say, in object oriented programming, defining classes and accessing the classes, writing our own applications for our school project, and all those things. After a very long gap, I should say, of close to 16 years, today somehow I went almost to that depth in that training, and I was excited. Back then in my class 12, computer science turned out to be one of my favorite subjects because it was just mathematics applied in its own in its very peculiar way. And even today I staunchly believe anyone who wants to learn any subject that is mathematical in nature, better they start coding it or putting it by hands. While I was just reliving my 12th standard moments, I thankfully recalled my teacher. Ma'am, in case you are seeing this, namaste and sincere thanks. Hemalata ma'am, who taught me computer science in class 11 and 12 at DAV Boys School, Mogaper, in the year 2008 to 9 and 2009 to 10. I was thankfully recalling my teacher and my learnings under her tutelage. I was also just recalling how I got this level of interest in that subject. So that encouraged me and made me think to post this part of Shriji's musings. Let me be very humble in presenting to you that I'm not having any intention of boasting because I have not done anything great to boast to anyone. But it is a honest journal of my journey. And even if it is useful to any one of you, or even if it kindles a productive thinking in any one of you, I will consider that this musing has done its job. Actually, when I started learning computer science in my class 11, the first part of it in the syllabus will usually be dry because initially you won't be introduced to higher level language or OOPS. You will be taught MS DOS. I don't know what's the syllabus now. Back then that used to be the case. So this commands like mkdir, make directory, then change directory, then accessing different files from different locations. These kind of working with the operating systems, which today after coming to industry I really understand that it is a very essential learning in case you are going to do very serious coding. So good that the syllabus had all those, but those weren't very interesting aspects. And class 10 to class 11 in Indian CBSE schooling at least in my experience is a huge jump for a student. And this being a dry subject at that time for me during the start, I felt badly discouraged. And ever since that, in my class 11, it so happened that I never got great scores in computer science. I never failed equally. But it was a subject that I was like, sort of, oh, I need to learn this, I need to attend this. And there came a stage when I decided that I cannot continue to remain pathetic in this subject. I have to do something about it. And then our school had this wonderful system called remedial classes, where after school hours, the teacher will sit and whoever has failed to secure a pass mark in the subject will undergo tutelage under them separately. They will be given special attention. So I went to my teacher and I asked if I can sit in remedial class. Usually remedial class is attended by people, as I told you, who don't secure pass mark in that term examination. I went and asked her. First thing she had asked me was, but you have passed the course. Then I told that I still need help. It's not about passing. Somehow I'm not comfortable with that course. Looking back at what I did that time today, I will personally appreciate that little boy or that adolescent, whatever. The thing is, it requires a heart to do this. It's nothing great, but it is definitely worth a note and worth an appreciation at least. In fact, I am looking it as a lesson itself even today. It is okay not to know something, and it is definitely okay to ask help. And I am happy that I did it at that age. Then she was very kind enough to take me in the class, thanks to her. And slowly I started practicing the problems that she gave along with the others. And believe me, in next 2 or 3 months, my scores went up to 85 plus. And in my 12th standard, computer science became one of the most favorite subjects for me. It was a redefining moment. And till it was C++ programming and it didn't go into network, which carried 20 marks out of 100, I started doing very well and I was starting to get scores above 90s. So imagine someone who was not having very great score to going to 90s out of attending remedial classes, which was meant to just give people a chance to pass the course, right? So what did I need? What did I lack? I needed a system that was patient enough to make me make mistakes. If I did not have a teacher and a set of friends along with whom I was trying to solve these, had I sat with these problems alone, probably I would have tried once or twice and said, no, this is not for me. But since I empathized that it was okay to go wrong, which I had when I sat with others who had also had the same experience, and then when I was being given a slight push from outside that try it again, keep trying. And when I finally tried it, I slowly started making progress. And that progress motivated me to do it again and again and again. Once I started doing it again and again, a natural rhythm was set. And it eventually, something that I dreaded in the beginning, eventually became something that I loved the most. And in my board exam, just before my board exam, she said, you should definitely get 100 in the board exam. Unfortunately, I didn't do that networking subject. I still held on to a little bit of dread towards networking because that was typical. I need to buy heart a lot. It was quite dry, this tree system, those systems and all those things. Whereas the C++ part was something that I had to code, was always interesting to me. So eventually I didn't get 100 like what she wanted me to. I only got 96 out of 100. In that way, it was a disservice to my teacher as well as myself. But the experience that I could gain out of going to the remedial classes and developing a liking towards the subject is so rich. It is so rich and intense. It has made a impact in my mind that 16 years after that, when I am learning a similar subject elsewhere, I could recall this journey and really keep myself have another motivation when some of my attempts are not going to work. That will happen with any endeavor. Today I feel like that I recalled this experience, I can tell myself that look at what you did back then and probably do the same. So what are those? To summarize, take a pause, find a environment or an atmosphere that is giving you the space to go wrong and the motivation and the needed backing to correct the wronging or correct the action that would have probably gone wrong. Then keep practicing, keep trying. The trials themselves will take us to where we want to go, and the result is not the final result. The result is actually the beautiful journey that we carry for long. I know it's a long video, but I'm happy to share my experience for those of you for whom this may be useful. Bye bye.